powered by Riverside FM.
Board games, card games, and mind sports are enduringly popular around the world. In terms of the pure strategy games, a few of them stand above the others. Chess, of course, drafts, dominoes, poker, and to some extent, the card game bridge. The popularity of these games comes mainly from their accessibility. They're relatively straightforward to learn and to pick up and play for most people. In addition, they have sufficient depth that those who want to take them seriously can do so. However, with the growth of computing power, many of these games have been solved in the sense that the best strategy has been established by computers. Drafts have been solved. In poker, computers can tell you the game theory optimal play. Even chess, while not solved as such, has programs which are so good that they are close to it for many of the possible board situations. Indeed, computers will now routinely beat most grandmasters. Bridge is perhaps one of the games with the most variation available in it. It's a card game played by 4 players at any individual table, but normally played in a tournament format across a large number of players. The game itself comprises of 2 parts, an auction followed by card play. Like poker, some aspects of the game are solvable in terms of highlighting the best strategy. That's particularly true of the card play aspect. But there remains one aspect of the game which I think supports its ongoing popularity at a social level. That is the human side of the game. The ability for psychology, strategy, mistakes, and personalities to come out in the play. This is particularly true of bridge because of the presence of 4 players at any given time. These human traits were captured by the bridge commentator and author Victor Mollo, who originally wrote a series of newspaper columns, subsequently turned into a series of books, which focused on animal-based caricatures of typical players. The books were called Bridge in the Menagerie. The set of players within these books are symbolic of game players everywhere, not necessarily those who play bridge. Indeed, anyone who has sat down to a board game with friends and family will recognize some of the traits in these players. Let's have a look at some of them. The first player is the hideous hog. This player is the best player in the club. They're brilliant, but they are arrogant, manipulative, and ruthless. One particular characteristic they have is a tendency to hog the game. In bridge in particular, this is something which is possible where you can dominate the auction so that you play more than other players. You get more than your fair share. In essence, the hog encapsulates masters of games everywhere, but those who do like to make sure that everyone knows that they're the best. The clearest counterpart to the hog is the player who is often the hog's bridge partner. It's the rueful rabbit. The rabbit is a timid, bumbling player who is barely competent, but astonishingly lucky. The rabbit makes accidental plays that often turn out to be masterstrokes, baffling everybody, especially the better players at the club. Essentially, the rabbit encapsulates beginner's luck. We've all seen this, where someone who doesn't know what they're doing comes out on top in a board game. But the rabbit is more than just beginner's luck, because it's done in such a charming and lovable way as to have them as the underdog for whom you might be rooting. Next up comes the secretary bird. This is the self-appointed rules enforcer, pedantic and obsessed with the letter of the law. It's the kind of person who will read every line of the instructions in any board game, but their insistence on the technicalities often backfires and costs them the game. Next, we have Walter the Walrus, a conservative player who will be obsessively following textbook guidance on how to play, even when such textbook guidance is clearly wrong in a given situation. Walter is so predictable that he's easily exploited by all of the better players in the club. And the final character that I'm going to introduce is Charlie the chimp. Charlie is a character who's easily distracted, not concentrating on the game or thinking about a prior aspect of the game. I think we've all seen this in board games, where someone is only partially paying attention and playing, but is really concentrating on something else, whether that's where the next set of snacks is coming from or the film that might be on in the background. There are many other players in this fictional club, all with their own specific characteristics. Many of them are unpredictable, and it's these characteristics and unpredictability which makes the games continually attractive, even though, in theory, they could be solved by computers. And it's these kind of games, those with scope for some human psychology and human mistakes, which are likely to remain the most popular.